Oh, good morning. I hope everyone's having a good morning, a good Sunday. It is Sunday. It's 11 a.m. Mountain Time. How are we? I'm excited to bring the critters to CCOH. How are you doing, Botan? Good morning. Good morning, Jamie. Oh, I know. And you're up in Edmonton, right? Hello, Shelley. How are you? I hope everyone's doing good on their Sunday. Jesus, I'm behind. I'm a little tired. I'm great. My partner said morning as well. Hello, partner. Good morning. Yeah, I got my coffee. It's all nice and ready. I'm drinking a French vanilla. Yeah, it's not bad. Hello, Hattie. Good evening, darling. How are you? Yeah, it's definitely effing cold here.
ReAnimateHer.
Classy, right, Botan? I know, Jamie. We're minus 40. I mean, we're not that far from you. Let me just fix my chat. There we go. We're not that far. Well, we're not that far. An hour and change away. Yeah, it's disgustingly cold. Hello, Reaper. How are you? Hi, Wickedy. How are you? It's good to see you guys over on YouTube as well. Oh, yeah, we're going to start off our morning. We had a good yesterday. Hello, Monkey. How are you? Hello, Steve. How are you doing? Good morning. Happy Sunday. Last night, Heavy and I, after supper, turned off our phones, basically put our phones upstairs and did not touch our cell phones, my laptop, my computer, nothing. We watched movies and had a very quiet evening, which was really nice because I'm really bad for working. I can be sitting on the couch in my downtime and I'm researching for the next CCOH, or I'm making clips from my Twitch channel. I'm always doing something, so we never really get that I'm not doing anything kind of thing. So last night we did that. Keep the cold to yourself. Ugh, I know we are a little cold. Yeah, Jamie was saying, Monkey, that it's about minus 37 by you guys. Look at me. I just came into my own chat. That's so funny. I am fabulous, Hattie. Fabulous. I can't complain. The new year has been great. It's really cold where I am. Ari, this might sound insane. I believe thus the first time I've spoken to you this year. It's a possibility, Wickedy. Possibility. Hello, Deadwalk. Hopefully you guys can read the chat on both there. I will say it's not snowing here compared to other areas. Again, this morning, I have my sweater on, so I don't have my my heater on, which is nice because this sweater is nice and warm. Usually it's fucking cold down here. And I have to turn on my little heater. How is everybody's Saturday nights? Did you guys do anything fun? I watched movies. We watched a horror comedy called Dead by Dawn, which was quite funny. It's basically a spoof of Romero's Book of the Dead. It's quite good. I thought it was funny. It's cheesy. It's campy. It's cheesy, right? What's his name is in it? Christopher Lloyd. He's in it. Yeah, 45, 49 with the wind chill. Yeah, but without the wind chill, it's like minus 37. Yeah. Outside, it's disgusting over here. We're in the 40s. I will only take your opinion on this. I never seen Terror Train with Jamie Lee. Is it decent? Oh, yeah. Terror Train is pretty good, in my opinion, Wickedy. I like Terror Train with Jamie Lee Curtis. Tubi, I want to say about a couple years back, remade it. So there's a Terror Train on Tubi. It's not too bad either. But the original with Jamie Lee Curtis, it's a good movie. Definitely watch it. I wouldn't tell you not to watch it because you may actually like it. I don't ever dislike films. I mean, there's one that I dislike and it's just horrible. And I don't like talking about it because I don't have anything nice to say about it. I can have things to say about a movie that I don't like, nice things about it, like the Blair Witch Project. I disliked the Blair Witch Project. However, it did some really cool stuff. This other movie, I'm not even going to name it. There was nothing friggin' good about it. Nobody's ever seen it, guarantee you. You went to bed early like an old fart because I had work today. How was work, Dead Walk? Did you have a good day? They made a sequel to the remake too. Yeah. Hello, Wiley. Well, that is a surprise. I finally made it into one of these live streams. I hope you're doing well. Not sure how long I'll be here as I currently at work. No worries, Wiley. I hope you have a good day at work. And it's
the benefits are great, but the screamiums will kill you.
Hello, Jimmy. Thank you so very much for re-sacrificing your soul for 23 friggin' months and using your Prime Gaming. Mwah, thank you. I appreciate it. Especially the Prime Gaming. I really appreciate that. That shit can be used on anybody here on Twitch. And the fact that there are some of you like Jimmy that use your Amazon Prime Gaming sub on me, and I greatly appreciate that. I know I'm picky on who I drop my Amazon Prime sub to, so it was okay, you guess. Well, you're home now, right? So you don't have to worry about that shit. I'm not looking forward to going back to work tomorrow either, but the saving grace is I work from home tomorrow, and I'm kind of glad. Welcome. I don't get here much, but I do like popping in when I can. I am very happy to see you, Jimmy, when you can pop in. Thank you very much for the continued support. Today, we are going to get into some coffee chat of horrors, which I'm excited to do. We're going to be talking about Critters. Critters 1 mainly with a splash of Critters 2, just because there are some things that kind of go together. And I even brought my critter down, my crate. I only have one. Isn't he adorable? So I did bring down my one crate. I've been great, Wickedy. I have been great. Isn't he adorable? He's friggin' adorable. How you doing, Dahi? Good morning. I have a feeling tomorrow will be another option day for me. It's supposed to warm up next week. So we'll see what happens. You're home now. Just have to get through tomorrow without going homicidal. You'll get through it. You will. I probably could make a low budget short horror film with this guy. Anyways, I have too much fun with my collection. You got Klepto to watch Critters and Ghoulies? What? That is awesome. What did he think about both? Did he enjoy both? Cool. Both, yeah, they are campy, low budget, fun horror films. And I know some people don't like them, but I don't know how you cannot like them. More or less, yeah. I love the Krites. They're so funny. Wait, we're not talking about Leo's debut masterpiece, Critters 3? We will be discussing the rest of the Critters sometime, though, Wiley. They are campy. They are, but that's the genre that they're in, right? Yeah, neither the Critters or Ghoulies did well at the box office. Not until after the fact did they ever do really good, right? They have a huge cult
every
following.
hand you've ever shaken has had a dick in it.
Wait, Don't Shoot Me. That is another movie I've never seen. Critters. Hey, not a problem, Wickedy. You can be a horror fan without seeing every friggin' horror movie ever made. Trust me, there are movies that I have yet to see that have been on my list for eons. I just never got around to watching it. I'm glad, though, that I can give you some recommendations on films and you can go and see them, because I wish I could go back in time and see some of these movies for the first time just to get that experience from them. But Critters and Ghoulies are great. If you have an increased chance of not going crazy, if you send me... But yes, if you can go and watch Critters franchise, Critters is fun. It's campy. It's sci-fi horror. It's actually sci-fi comedy horror and not horror comedy. I know I say that a little differently because when a film to me is a horror comedy, that's like a Shaun of the Dead, Tucker and Dale vs. Evil type of horror comedy. The Critters and Ghoulies are a comedy horror sci-fi on the sci-fi level. It's not a serious sci-fi like Star Trek or Event Horizon. There is a lot of comedic relief, and especially those puppets, man. These puppets, they're pretty effing big on the movie set, and I have some really great information. So on that note, let's dive in. Let's dive into our coffee chat of horrors. Let's do it. Let's get into that.
You like scary movies and coffee.
The following show is based on research on horror movies and what goes on behind the scenes of your favorite scary movies. HORDE Entertainment or ReAnimateHer is not responsible for the macabre and horror that you are about to witness. Viewer discretion is advised.
They were aggressively, surprisingly oppressive. I love the Krites. They're awesome. Good morning, my daywalkers. I am ReAnimateHer, your queen of horror, and this is Coffee Chat of Horrors, the only horror show that takes its coffee like it's magic, and that is black. I wanted to tell you guys about today's coffee. It comes to you from Deadly Grounds, Canada, and it is called Degrassi Junior Dye. I think it's a really cute play on words. And this is a medium. This is a French vanilla. It's more of a medium roast. It's actually not bad. And I drink my coffee black. So I wanted to tell you guys about Deadly Grounds French vanilla. But now I want you to buckle up and we're going to get ready to traverse the realms of nightmares and childhood terrors that birth these infamous creatures, yes, called the Critters. Good morning, serial killer. How are you? You hate that show? What show? Ree, I would love for them to remake the Willies, Madman and Final Exam. The Willies is great. Madman, I'm not a huge fan of Madman myself. Final Exam is not too bad. Degrassi. Yeah, I never watched it. But this is called Degrassi Junior Dye, which is a cute play on words. Just a quick note, I am not sponsored or affiliated with the coffees that I bring on the show. I am just telling you guys of the coffee that I'm drinking with you on Coffee Chat of Horrors. So you guys have an idea of the coffee that I'm drinking. Yeah, cold, it's not happy. I friggin' hate it. So now The Critters is directed and screenwritten by Stephen Herrick. Now, I know part 2, Mick Garris. But this one here is part 1, chapter 1 of the franchise, of the Critters franchise. And you have the Kyoto brothers, who are famous for Killer Clowns from Outer Space and many other films, well, the puppeteers and creators of the Critters, which is really, really cool. And if you haven't seen Critters, the movie, this is going to be a spoiler. So if you don't want to hear what I'm going to say, you may want to leave. If you have seen this movie, it was released in 1986, so it's been around for quite some time. But if you want to stay, we have the trailer and some really good information for you that Mr. Reaper 1923 helped me obtain. The graphics that you're going to see here right next to me. I want the bowling jersey from this movie, right? And the bowling jersey, did you notice the bowling jersey has a logo in the back of it? Did you notice that? We're going to discuss that as well. But let's get into the trailer. Hopefully you guys can hear. Hopefully you can hear without a problem.
Of all the planets in the galaxy, they chose ours. They hide in small places.
This phone is dead.
What?
They like the dark.
Jay, any luck?
Just a minute.
There's nothing cute about them. They've come a long way, and they're hungry. Critters. They bite.
Critters, they bite. It's one of my favorite taglines. Critters, they bite. And no, it's not the Gremlins, even though this was made after the Gremlins. Hello, Dante. How are you? Nightmare on Elm Street music. There's a lot of 80s that take a little bit of each other's stuff, believe it or not. And if you are a fan of the 80s films, then you would know that there are some that actually utilize some of the melodies and sounds of each other. Now, director and screenwriter Stephen Herrick created this from a childhood nightmare. Yeah, he had a nightmare, and it spawned these ghastly ideas for Critters. Fate brought together Herrick and Dominic Muir during their days as assistant editors on City Slickers, which is a show with Billy Crystal. I haven't heard his name in a long time, resulting in the birth of the Critters saga. Now, if you haven't seen City Slickers, it's not bad. It's not a horror movie. It's a comedy western with Billy Crystal. I believe his name is, Billy Crystal. I haven't heard of that man in a long time. Have you guys heard anything about Billy Crystal? He used to be a really big actor back in the day. Hello, Jen. How are you? Good morning. I love these little guys, man. Like, look at my little guy. I need to get the rest of them. Do you know how hard it is to get actual Critters merch? It's almost damn near impossible. They are selling the giant prop, but that's like a couple of grand. You ain't getting that shit for cheap. City Slickers 1 and 2 is not bad. I don't know if I've seen 2. I've seen 1. Now, the terrifying inspiration and design for these critters was created by Charles Kyoto. He drew inspiration from Looney Tunes' Taz for the critters design. And the eerie language of critters is a blend of French and Japanese, which was the brainchild of Corey Burton, who did their haunting voice, which I thought was really cool. And the Kyoto brothers all worked on this as well, especially throughout the franchise. And there's a funny story about the Critter Ball in Critter 2. You can definitely see the Taz connection. And when the Kyoto brothers were at the Calgary HorrorCon this past summer, they had a panel, and I got to see some of their panel and what they spoke about. I also got to sit down with them on the bus trip to Banff on that Friday, which was really cool to listen to some of the stories that they were telling about critters and killer clowns from outer space. Critters 3 was on Leah. Yes, it was Gen X. Hopefully your vehicle start this morning, Berta. Power steering is frozen in my truck. That sucks, Serial. My car does not like starting in this kind of shit cold. Hello, Moon. How are you? Now, I know people are going to be like, Gremlins, right? Gremlins versus Critters, and we have some information for you about that as well, because, Gremlins was a hit back in the day when it came out. It's one of the first that's done that well. I really love Gremlins. Now, promoted as a new line's response to Gremlins, Critters had its screenplay written and bought before Gremlins was even announced. So Gremlins just got created quicker than Critters did. Critters was already written and it already had been bought. It just not been made before Gremlins was made. So of course, everyone thinks of Gremlins and that the Critters were almost like a ripoff of the Gremlins, but not true, right? Critters was the screenplay was written and it was already bought. It just never went into production first. It did not finish before Gremlins did. And before we get back in there, look at this, Gen X. Thank you so very much for the 5-stream streak. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Mine started as and still has a catalytic converter. I like the fillet critters. The rest, not so much. You mean the first critters? The fillet critters cereal? Are you fucking driving? The fillet critters? You're doing good. You're at work today, Moon. Well, I hope you have a good day at work. I like the entire Critters franchise. I think it's a fun, campy film. Yeah, definitely Siri. Talk to Siri. I'm on the way to the dance studio. Oh, my Lord. I know Siri dislikes you. Having a feeling my truck is not going to start tomorrow. It's supposed to be getting warmer out by you, though. It's supposed to get warmer this week coming for everybody, actually. Anyways, back to Gremlins. Terrence Mann's haunting rendition of Power of the Night added a musical dimension to the horror. So we had also Terrence Mann and his music in the Critters. Now, there is proof out there if you're really diehard and you want to see the proof of, Critters being created and bought beforehand. The screenwrite is out there. Everything is out there for you. You can go and look all that up yourself if you are, that nitty gritty into it. It's pretty annoying because I feel I speak pretty clearly. Yeah, that's got to be annoying that it doesn't listen to you well. Now, there is a lot of nods to the classic films in this movie. And now this is 1986, right? So classic of that time. So which you'll see here. So Grover's Bend, the film setting, pays homage to Orson Welles' 1938 War of the Worlds radio broadcast. Also, the bowling uniforms and their emblem parody Ghostbusters, while Merkins from a local shop added a bizarre touch to the Critters. Yeah. So, Merkin, I don't know, you guys know what a Merkin is. And no, I'm not talking about the Slash Street Boys Merkins. But yeah, a Merkin was actually used to fur these little creatures. Yeah. That was the first set of critters that were created. They're actually two different colors, and there's differences between Critters 1 and Critters 2 is because they perfected their design for Critters 2, whereas in Critters 1, everything was kind of put together. And it does pay homage and nod to some of the classics. Again, Grover's Bend is the setting. And if you've ever heard of Orson Welles' 1938 War of the Worlds radio broadcast, just listen to that. I know War of the Worlds have been created into numerous films, which is also really cool. But in 1938, that's probably where it was like the best. Yeah, I thought the bowling shirts were Ghostbuster logos at first until I could see it more closely. Yeah, it's basically a parody of the Ghostbusters logo, which I thought was funny. And you may not notice it. Like I said, when you watch it for the first time, you may not notice exactly that. But you do notice after your first watch or second watch, if you're like me, I've watched Critters franchise numerous friggin' times. And you pull things that you see throughout the movies, the more you see it, actually. I know some people in Canada woke up to minus 47 degrees today. That's me, Moon. Alberta is super effing cold. It's been minus 40s for the last almost a week. We've had minus 40, minus 51 weather. It's quite friggin' cold. Yeah. Hence not caring if I hit things with it. Yeah, you don't want to hit things with it because then you're going to have whiplash for 5 million years. Hello, Tyra. How are you? How is your Sunday treating you? Oh, I almost passed by one of the Critters Ball is one of my favorite things here. The Critters Ball is an epic puppet. It's an epic giant puppet, and there are several people, including the Kyoto brothers, who were making it move. And if you watch really closely and you stop the movie, you can actually see one of the Kyoto brothers pushing along the crate. The whole critter ball. And if you actually look closely in some of the areas of the film, you can actually see the people behind the puppets, because these were all puppets. These are all handcrafted puppets. And, this little guy, for size, he's quite tiny compared to the real puppet. So I'm going to give you guys a side comparison. This is a normal tumbler. It's a beautiful tumbler from Dahi and Klepto. And this is my crate, right? Now, the real critters, the real puppets, are huge. They're just basically about a human child, a human toddler. They're pretty big and round. They were quite heavy as well. So some of the things, they had them on like skateboards and other moving like shelves, so they could be moved around and when they were bigger and clumped together. Hello, XO. How are you doing? If you're just joining us, we are discussing Critters 1 and with a splash of Critters 2 inside, because they kind of like overlap with each other, even though the director is different in Critters 2. But yeah, the logo on the back of the bowling shirts, the bowling uniforms that you see, is a nod to Ghostbusters. If you stop it when the one guy is turning, you can kind of see it. And if you stop it, you can see the logo on it. It's quite weird looking. I don't think I have a picture of that logo here. I think Klepto noticed the puppeteer at one point. I missed it though. Yeah, there's a few areas where you are able to see one of the Kyoto brothers. They were the ones who were doing the puppeteering for the Krites in 1 and in 2. So you may actually see them in there. You're good, thanks. Just watching the Terminator as in the first one. Nice, XO. Very awesome. Now, Critters, I liked Critters. They have a TV series. It didn't go far. But when this came out in 1986 at the box office, it was actually considered a success because of what it grossed. It wasn't the highest grossing horror film in 86, or at least in the 80s. It grossed $13.2 million in 1986, and it was built on a $3 million budget. Now, I know $3 million budget, everyone's like, $3 million, that's a lot of money. But when you're creating a movie, that's really not. That's considered a lower budget film, considering some of the films are like $54 million and up. $3 million budget is quite low budget compared to some of the other films in 1986. I'm talking about in 86. And they had a pretty nice star-studded cast for 1986 as well. The film was shot in secret in South Africa as well, and revealed only when the trailer hit the internet. Brian Muir penned Critters at the tender age of 19. So at 19 years old, he was doing all of this fun critter stuff and writing it all out, and it was filmed in South Africa, which you would never notice by the movie itself, right? I'm doing okay. My Christmas was good and New Year's, except for the 2 days after Christmas. My mom had to go to the hospital because she was having severe stomach pains and also dry heaving a lot. When she got to the hospital, they found out that her gallbladder was super infected. That sucks. I'm glad she's doing better. December was a month for many people. Actually, 2023 was a month for many people year for gallbladders. Hello, D4D. Critters is awesome. We're gonna have an ad start here in about 48 seconds, so we're gonna wait and we're gonna deviate off topic before I go back into discussing it for those that will have an ad, and you will have an ad over on Twitch. I know YouTube, I turned them off because I have that power over there. I really wish Twitch gave us the power to turn them off and then turn them on for like VOD kind of shit, because that's what I do over on YouTube. I purposely turn off my live streams And then once the live is over, then I turn on my ads on YouTube. But then they can't make any money. They make it. They make enough money, but I guess it's not enough money to sustain Twitch. Twitch hasn't been sustainable on its own income for over 10 years, according to the CEO. But yeah, I don't see the ad, and usually I get a notification, so I'm not sure if it's running. She had to get surgery the next day, so she recovered and is doing well. Yeah. My mother-in-law had gallbladder surgery as well. I know quite a few people that actually had their gallbladders removed in 2023, which is quite crazy. Do we know if there's an ad still up? I don't have the notification. Usually I get a little notification saying that the ad has 1 minute and 32 seconds. I'm not getting that, so I don't know if there's an ad playing or not. My countdown is not here. There it goes. The hell is Twitch doing? Their ad placement is slow. Quite slow, I think. Yeah, it just started. It's so funny because I got that warning message that it was going to start. The countdown finished, and I didn't get anything. Hopefully it's a horror-related ad. Hopefully. Maybe it's Canadian servers or frozen. I don't know. My ingest is Washington, I believe. Or San Antonio. One of them is always better than the other, and I can't use the Canadian one. Oh, that's good, Shelley. Yeah, it shows that there is an ad break in progress. They're supposed to disable the pre-rolled ads for anybody who does come in to the channel. But we'll see. We'll see. We're almost 17 seconds, and then I can get back into my critters. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, yay! All right, welcome back, guys. I don't know if you had an ad or not, but welcome back if you did. Now, we were just talking about how Critters was filmed in South Africa. You would have never noticed it was being filmed in South Africa. It looked like it was being filmed in Middle America. Just the farm fields and just the imagery of the entire set. You would never thought it was filmed in South Africa. I always assumed it was filmed here in Canada because most of the time they are filmed here in Canada. It could have been Kansas as far as I knew. Exactly. Because it could have been. The land that they used, it was farmland. It had the fences. You would have never known that it wasn't filmed outside. You would never know that it was filmed outside of the United States, which I thought was pretty cool. Learning about this when I'm going through all my critter stuff. Now, we know that there is quite a few great actors in this film, quite a few. We have Dee Wallace. She made her debut credited as Dee Wallace Stone, which we all know Dee Wallace. She is a horror queen. She is up there with Jamie Lee Curtis. She may not be a scream queen fully like Jamie Lee Curtis, but she is a horror queen because most of her career is done in horror. Cujo, oof. Yes. You remember Cujo? Well, if you've seen Cujo, she's also in that. So not only do we have Dee Wallace, but you also have two cast members that are in here that share family ties with the producer. You have Lynn Shay. She's another big horror star. She does a lot of Insidious chapters. She's in a shit ton of horror films, mainly supernatural type of horror films, but she's in an array of those films. If you don't know who Lynn Shay is, Insidious is one of her things. One of her main roles is in Insidious. There's also Don Arper. Now, Don Harper is also related to, shares familial ties with the producer as well as Lynn Shay, because Lynn Shay, New Line Cinemas. Now, Billy Zane, which we all know, he's also a big-time star. Billy Zane earned his first speaking role in Critters, believe it or not. I live locally to the filming locations for Jeepers Creepers. Nice, D4D. Billy Zane, which he's a pretty big celebrity. He's done an array of stuff. He's dabbled in some horror. Demon Knight. There's a few things of Billy Zane. I actually met him as well at the HorrorCon one year. But yeah, he earned his first speaking role. Which I thought was quite cool. Now, the moose pelts transformed into realistic critters. That is what they used in creating the Krites themselves for this movie. Charles Chiodo makes a cameo, as well as Russell Carpenter, the still photographer, later became the director and photography for Critters 2. Yeah. But you do get to see Charles in Critters 1 and Russell Carpenter. You remember Billy? Mm-hmm. It was fun to see him so young in the movie. Yeah, there's quite a few actors that are super young in the movie. The redheaded boy, he plays in the Orville, in the TV series Orville. And you have quite a few of other people in there, like I said. Now, Critters 2... Critters 2. This is where we're going to dive into a little bit of Critters 2. Mick Garris is it's his directorial debut with Critters 2. He faced numerous challenges from the Playboy scandal till filming during California's coldest winter. So part 2 was filmed in California. Despite embroidered socks as gifts, the film was a financial disaster. So Critters 2 did not do good. Now, this information that I'm telling you is pulled from the collector's edition of Critters. So it's in the entire Critters series with director's commentary and interviews. I don't know if you've seen it on Shout Factory, but it was out there a while back, a bit back. And when watching, I wrote down certain things because these are things you're not going to find on the internet because they are directly from the director's commentary and interviews from the collection. Unless somebody put them on the internet, that would be the only way you would find them. Or someone like me talking about it and putting it out there. I did not know that this Critters 2 totally bombed, and they were all given embroidered socks as gifts for Critters. Mick Garris, who is the director for Critters 2, revealed that the potential financier was lost when Critters 2 saw a near-empty audience. A horror story for New Line Cinema, marking the demise of Critters 2. So Critters 2 did not do as well as its predecessor, Critters 1 in 1986, where that one raked in $13.2 million. The budget for, I didn't hear the budget for Critters 2, but it did not do well. Not even in the box office. It tanked. It tanked there as well. Now the little guys for there's scenes where the critters are outside and they're throwing their little like porcupine. Now that idea was inspired by actual porcupines and not the Tasmanian devil, but their actions. So you know how they kind of have that shake and they run and they just go all over the place. That was inspired by the Tasmanian devil on Looney Tunes. Enjoy your lurk. Yeah, that was inspired by porcupines because they would get these little pines, right? And instead of porcupines don't shoot, okay, well they don't shoot their spurs. Their spurs go up and they stick out of their body. So that's their protection. So that if a dog bites down on them, which dogs do, usually bigger dogs when they're out and about, they get porcupine spurs in their face. So you got to pull them out, poor pups. So that was basically inspired by porcupines. So the Krites, they actually would get their fur up. Their fur would come up like a peacock and shoot these spurs. Yeah, all of their movements definitely do remind you of Taz. Yeah, definitely. Well, they're like little Tasmanian devils, right? They're fuzzy little bastards that have sharp teeth. And they wanted to create something scary, but also cute, which I think they are adorable little bastards. They do have big hands and tiny little stubby feet, but their quick way of getting around is by rolling. They roll up in a ball and they roll, and they're really fast when they roll into a ball. Yeah, their feet are little creature claws. Their feet are tiny and cute. Like, look at that little guy's feet. He's tiny and cute feet. Here's a fun fact. Do you know the actor Steve Railsback? It sounds familiar. I'm not much of a name person. Give me a movie or a title of a movie and I will be able to remember names. They made them adorable but scary. They wanted something cute but scary at the same time. And this wasn't taken as a serious horror film, right? It's supposed to be campy and goofy with all the fun elements. Everything was practical effects. So everything that you see was handmade, from the puppets themselves to the still figures to the little shoots that they would spit out of their fur to stick you with, to the blood. Having the puppet jump on the main guy when he goes into the basement and it's sitting here. He actually has his hand on it. You just can't see his hand is on it, and it's going like this to him. That is all puppeteering. That is all done. And you don't see a lot of that stuff because either CGI had, not really CGI, but they had it kind of removed, or the one scene he had his hand up and was making it go like this. So you didn't see the hand and all you saw was the crate, like, right? Hello, Vengeance. How are you? I think that was my favorite practical effect. The bounty hunter morphing was amazing. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. And again, that was all done with video and makeup and all the fun prosthetics. Now, there was it was Johnny Steele. Where the hell did I put it? I don't think give me a second here. I'm always missing something that I don't send over to my computer because I'm always writing my CCOHs. I'm always writing them in my living room on my couch. So there are quite a few little things that I forget to send over. Now, there is a happy ending of Critters that was added after the test screening, but some copies of the film were already printed and sent out, effectively giving Critters two endings depending on which print you saw. So that was something that I thought was interesting as well. So when the test movie went out, everything did. You had the ending that you had when you seen it in theaters. Then after the fact, they put a different ending in, and this was more of a happy ending of Critters. And if you own if you own Critters 1 special edition, or if you own the entire Critter collection, you'll actually have the alternate endings. So they don't know which videos got sent with the happy ending and which videos got sent with the original ending. He has Manson and Helter Skelter. Okay, yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. But that I thought was pretty cool, pretty cute. And so the house. Oh shit! Now let's put this up over here. All right. Now the house that you guys see in Critters. You've seen it in the beginning with Dee Wallace. The house was completely constructed for the movie. And the house at the end of the movie is a miniature since the set was blown up, which you do see the set being blown up. But all that stuff has already happened. So at the end, the tiny house, the house that you see is a little tiny fucking miniature of the original house. And I thought that was pretty cool because you couldn't tell that that was a miniature at the end of the movie compared to the whole movie. Oh, you dated his daughter briefly. Oh, it's been a weird day, Vengeance. Right now I'm feeling kind of off, not sick, but just meh. Ooh, yeah, that sucks. I do hope you feel better, Vengeance. I hate having weird days. Now the Critters design was created all by the Kyoto brothers, and it was fully articulated critter puppets. They cost about $10,000 at the time, and they had a few of them. So $10,000 puppets in 1986. Can you just take a guess of what that would be today with inflation on top of our money? So $10,000 at the time for the fully articulated critter puppets. So you're probably looking at maybe what, 50,000 now? I mean, mind you, I'm not 100% sure. $5.99, right? Oh, I wish. So remember I told you about Lynn Shay? Lynn Shay is in here. She is also the sibling of one of the producers. So Lynn Shay, who is Sally, whose brother is the producer of Bob Shay. So Lynn Shay and Bob Shay. And Don Opper as Charlie, whose brother is Barry Opper. So those are the two producers of Critters, and Lynn Shay was actually playing the brother of Don. 50 to 75K easy. Yeah, right? And Critters was given a rated R. Yeah, a rated R when they passed it through the MPAA. Robert Shea, and yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, the movie that saved New Line Cinemas. Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street literally saved New Line. Because it was not doing good. And then here comes Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger, Wes Craven, and boom, it is the horror movie that literally saved New Line Cinemas from going under. Which is really cool. Which is really cool to have in your legacy. Is, you know, that movie literally keeping alive New Line Cinemas. And you need to go watch They Live Again after meeting Keith David. Nice. Keith David is nice, and I love They Live. It's one of my favorites. Hello, Regal. How are you? Do you know? So talking about Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel. Remember we talked about them last Coffee Chat of Horrors and their TV series that they had? They actually gave this movie 2 thumbs up. They gave the Critters movie a 2 thumbs up. Robert Ebert and Gene Siskel both hated horror films. Hated them. But these two mofos give this movie 2 thumbs up, which I thought was really strange. Like, why? What made this? What changed your mind about this? I know, fuck those two. They're dead and in the ground. But they had shitty taste. Well, they had shitty taste, but they didn't like horror films. The fact that they gave this movie 2 thumbs up, I think that's awesome. But why? I wish I could have found more information on why. And I looked and looked to find something somewhere that stated from Roger or Gene why they gave this movie 2 thumbs. Did they get paid? I don't know. It was a $3 million budget. I don't know. They could have. Hello, Vald. So you guys remember the bounty hunters, right? You have the 2 bounty hunters. They come from outer space and they come down to the little town to try to hunt the Krites. Good morning, Zach. How are you? So you have the 2 bounty hunters, and they go unnamed in this movie. But their names were given as Ugg and Lee in Critters 2 in 1988. I like the bounty hunters. And among the educational videos that the bounty hunters are watching to familiarize themselves with Earth is a short clip from the movie Android 1982, which stars and was co-written by Don Keith Opper, who also stars in Critters. I thought that was kind of cool. I did not know that the film that they were watching to get themselves education on the area, that it was shot from that movie Android. I've never seen Android. Yep, I agree. You're doing good, Zach. That's awesome. I like the bounty hunters and could take on other people's likenesses, right? Shapeshifters. Hello, Kratos. How are you? But yeah, I really liked the, I did like them. Okay, so here's some Star Wars stuff for you for Critters. They both could, just one couldn't choose. What the hell are you talking about, Serial? So the toy that Brad blows up at the farm is a Star Wars episode, New Hope, in 1977, Y-Wing painted silver, in case anybody was interested in that one. I thought that was kind of cool. You know, I'm sure that little bastard there, if it wasn't blown up, it would be worth a lot of money. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can find the interview, D4D. I found the interview, but what I was trying to get at is why, the real why behind the reasoning of them giving them the 2 thumbs up. You can find their interview all over YouTube, and I know that, but what I was getting at is why. And what they tell you in their interview is not the reason why. I want to know the reason why. Because they did always shit on horror movies. Even some of the best horror movies they shit on, but they didn't shit on this one. Both bounty hunters could take their form as any human they wanted, but they needed a perfect match. I could never find the perfect face until I think the 3rd movie. Yeah, okay, that's what you were talking about. And that's what I'm getting at is not their interview. I seen that interview. It's actually in my collection of things that I have watched. So when I do a coffee chat of horrors, D4D, I go through interviews. I go through numerous areas when I do CCOH. I don't just copy and paste shit from IMDb. I go in, I watch interviews, I watch the reviews. That's why we talk about Siskel and Ebert, is because of that. And I watch their shit because it's part of my research. And yeah, they talk about it in their interview. I really want to know what was behind the scene in that one. She Kratos, thank you so very much for your 7 stream. Did that say 7? That almost passed me by. 7 stream streak, Kratos. Thank you very, very friggin' much. The zombie drags popsicles out. Wait, zombie drags popsicle ass out of the deep freeze. I almost read that wrong. How are you doing, Kratos? How is your boxing? Now, the creation of the Critters prop department, you did have moose pelts. And do you remember me earlier telling you about a merkin? Okay, so if you don't know what a merkin is a fake pubic hair wig. Yes, you heard that right. Pubic hair wig. So there are people that suffer from not having any hair, and they make these wigs that go on the pubic area. Yes. So they went to the Nice and Naughty shop, which was a local shop. Nice and Naughty was the name of the company. And they bought some merkins from them to create the Krite, which I find is fucking hilarious. I really wish I was able to buy one of the movie props so I could see this for myself. People do have pubic hair, but there was some people don't have any for whatever medical reason. That's why they make these wigs, right? So these wigs, they've been around for eons, and they are for your pubic area, men and women. They don't just do it for men. It's men and women. But I thought that was quite little funny. Merkin's Tasmanian devil porcupine hybrids, basically what they are, wearing a moose pelt. Fridays usually break my streak, but I got past Friday off due to the cold. I just did front desk volunteering yesterday afternoon, but it went okay. Lots more in classes than I expected in this weather. Fighters are wild. Yeah, if you like something, you'll brave the cold. Had to run out and grab them diet snackies in -40. That's gross. Hello, Big Wild Blue. Happy Sunday. How are you? Yeah. Now, when Dahi was talking about earlier, Dahi said earlier in the stream that he liked the bowling outfit, the bowling uniform of the bowlers. And there's a couple of little things when I was talking about the Ghostbusters logo, because that is, if on the back of it, that is a parody of the Ghostbusters logo. But not only is it a parody of that, the colors of the uniform match the colors of Egon Spengler's uniform in the real Ghostbusters 1986 animated series. I don't know if many of you remember the Ghostbusters cartoon. I used to watch it all the friggin' time, but that is where they also had inspiration on creating the uniforms for the critters. There are people like the Kyoto brothers that really enjoyed everything about Ghostbusters, even the cartoon, that they threw in to pay homage to the original Ghostbusters, right? We know that a lot of films throw these nods to their favorite films or filmmakers that have made an inspiration in their life. Wes Craven did it all the time. John Carpenter does it. There's tons of those nods all the time. And I thought that was a pretty cool thing that you see the colors. Now, I would have never seen that. I would have never put those two and two together watching Critters and seeing the bowling uniform. I would have never put those two together like, oh my goodness, that's Egon Spengler's color of his uniform in the Ghostbusters animated series. Who would, right? Nobody really would, unless you listened to the director's commentary and the collector's edition, where they interview the Kyoto brothers and the director and the writers and everything, where you actually get this information from. So I thought that was pretty fun. At first, I thought they were Ghostbuster logo, but then when they were up close, you saw it. It wasn't the same. No, it's a parody of it. Oh, of course I do. I was obsessed with anything Ghost and Sigourney Weaver related stuff. Yeah, I loved the animated series of Ghostbusters. Even Jada, oh my Lord, his name is Will. He is. Oh, side note, I'm getting distracted because of serial killer. Has anybody seen Dave Chappelle's newest Netflix special called The Dreamer? Has anybody seen it? If you haven't, you need to go and see it. I hated our Ghostbuster cartoon, but the real Ghostbusters was a really good cartoon. Yes, that's what I grew up on. That's what I watched, was the real Ghostbusters. 1986 animated series, because I lived in the United States in 1986. I really liked the Dreamer special of Dave Chappelle. Good afternoon, Mischief Maker. How are you? I know. I'm doing pretty good, I have to say. Okay, so Terrence Mann performs the song Power of Night as Johnny Steele, especially for this movie. I'm doing pretty goddamn good, I think. You're doing okay, Mischief? Staying warm and out of the snow? OG Ghostbusters cartoon gave me Magic School Bus vibes years later. Magic School Bus, yeah. Magic School Bus. I liked Magic School Bus. All right, let me just scroll through and what we did speak about. No, we basically got everything there. The prop department used the Merkins, the Star Wars toy that was blown up. Movie was shot in South Africa. Oh, here's one for you. Originally, Critters was supposed to be produced by Roger Corman. The original script was hard R and strictly horror. They would not budge on that one, even though it's really not, I find, should be a hard R. This movie is where Dee Wallace was credited as Dee Wallace Stone. It's not bad here. Y'all can keep the cold. Yeah, we got a lot of cold. Hopefully it'll be warming up here soon. At least I hope so. Creature feet design. Charles Kyoto was basically the designer of the feet anyways. I figured I'd throw that in there as well. Because they all had a hand in creating and coming up with the design of the Krites. That it was Charles Kyoto that actually created the feet. Nice. Good. It's about time we get some warm friggin' weather. Krites, the Critters 2, of course it bombed, but the Playboy magazine in Critters 2 contained real, previously unpublished nude photos of Roxanne Kernahan, which Playboy agreed to allow the filmmakers to use. Okay, we got an ad break right here, so we're going to hang out and talk something else while we wait for the ad. I didn't care as a kid, though. Only my Buffy, Xena, and X-Files. Non-kid shows had to be good back then. Yeah, at least I didn't get Rob Leftfield to do the feet fucker can't draw. I'm sorry, I know you know nothing about Marvel. He is the creator of Deadpool, and the only thing he can't draw is feet. Really? Yeah, no, I know nothing about who the fuck that is. Not at all. I'm not into any of the Marvel or DC stuff. But that's interesting to know. Some people just can't draw feet. Some people can't draw hands. It's crazy because I would think that those would be the easiest parts of the body to draw compared to like a face. I don't know. I'm not an artist, so I don't really know. But I know quite a few artists that can't draw hands or feet. That line in Deadpool 2 was in it for a reason. I don't remember. I can't draw stick people, so I can't say shit. Yeah, same. I can't even draw stick people either. You've seen my drawings. I mean, shit. We did, this is my Necronomicon. Oh, you can't see it. That's my Necronomicon drawing for Botan. And then I had to draw for Orthane some kind of weird fucking bird. I can't remember what he called it. But yeah, I had to draw that one. So that's the extent of my friggin' drawing there. Okay, are we back? I think we're back. So there is some unpublished nude photos of a Playboy Playmate in Critters 2. So if you watch Critters 2, keep an eye out for that. Oh, a kiwi bird. Yeah, look at you. Look at you go. Director Mick Garris cast his wife Cynthia Garris as alien Zanti in Critters 2. Critters 2 was supposed to take place in Kansas in the summer, but it actually was filmed during the coldest winter on record in California at that time. I would love to know what the coldest time of the year, the coldest time in California is in 1986, because I just don't see California getting cold. This was a nice little fun thing as well. The grass that appears green on film, it's because the weather was so cold, the grass died. They actually had to paint the grass green. So you have to go there and they had to paint the grass green because it was one of the coldest times, I guess, summers, the coldest winter in California on record. The grass friggin' died, and so they had to paint it green. Unless there are nude pictures of Billy Zane, I don't care. Nope, not that I know of. Billy Zane was in one. I know California is cold, northern near the border. I've seen snow. Nice. Well, this time when Critters 2 was created, It was really cold there, and they had to paint the grass green. Cast members of Critters 2, remember I told you they received embroidered socks as a gift at the time of the movie. I would love to get my hands on a pair of those embroidered socks because only a couple people have them. Only those that were on the set. Billy Zane was a bitch when I first met him. He came around later in the weekend. Yeah. There was some... Yeah. There is some weirdness going on. For those of you that have seen Critters 2, the Hungry Heifer shoot was supposed to only last 1 day, but ended up taking 3 days. So the real meat they used became rancid and smelled horrible. Yeah, hands are hard. Yeah, Moon. Yeah, it's cool depending where in California. I'm not exactly sure where it was filmed, but it was supposed to be the coldest winter of that year in California. Remember I told you about the big, large crate ball, the critters. In part 2, the critters literally get together and they jump on each other, almost like the Power Rangers when they make their friggin' thing, their robot or whatever. The critters basically roll out into each other. They combined into a giant critter ball. And the critter ball coming into town, you can actually see 2 feet of Ed Kyoto pushing the ball from behind. It was so heavy that they had to continue pushing the ball so that it looked like it was rolling down. And then they rolled over a guy, right? So the critter ball is rolling and they roll over a guy. And then when they roll over the guy's body is shaking and it's like he's all eaten. That one was fun. Yeah, you remember that movie? Yeah. What the fuck is a Megazord? So Critters 2 bombed in the movie theater. Critters 1 did a really good job in the theater at box office. Critters 2 still doesn't have the cult following that Critters 1 has, and now you just whole lump the entire franchise together, but you will hear people say Critters 1 was the best and the rest were just, I like all of the Critters. I enjoy the Critter films. I think they are fun. They're campy. And it's just, it's practical effects. You've got puppets. It's got to be hard to do. You know, puppets aren't actors. You have somebody who is running that puppet and having to do the actions and figures of those puppets. 0 Celsius to -9 Celsius in California in 1986. Oh, yeah, that is friggin' shorts weather. Jesus. Oh, that's Power Rangers. Yeah, I'm too old for Power Rangers. It is what you used as an... yeah. I didn't know what they call it. All I know is that they combine together and they jump into this giant critter ball of hell and go around eating people, which I thought was pretty cool. Anyways, we are coming to the end of our Coffee Chat of Horrors Critters edition. I hope you guys enjoyed my information on Critters. It is a lot of fun. If you haven't seen Critters 1 or 2 or 3, just if you haven't seen the franchise, go out and find them. Critters 1 is by far the best. However, they are still fun, sci-fi, campy, cheesy horror films if you want to enjoy them. They're not overly too graphic, so they can be considered a family film, even though Critters 1 was given a hard R, which I still don't understand the hard R. Voltron. Oh, I should have thought about Voltron. Yeah, Voltron. I like the part in the beginning when the bounty hunter is forming Johnny Steele's face. That was cool with the reverse melting effect. That it was. Yes. I forgot to add that in there, Dahi. Look at that. There's quite a few things I know I missed because I was not as properly organized as I thought I was, which is so weird. But I think I sent myself the wrong file. But anyways, I thought it was fun. I thought it was good. I thought the information that I did find, I got a lot of the information that I did find, was writing it down as I was watching the Critters commentary and interviews on the collection discs. So I sit there and I stop and I write it down, literally write it down. I don't type it down. I was writing down all of my hand notes of the things that they were talking about. and then transferring those hand notes to my notepad. I know, Mischief Maker. I must have sent myself the wrong file. Rough, it's been cold. Your brain is frozen. It happened. Still a great show. But thank you very much. Thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. They did pack a lot of stuff into that film. Like I said, it was all practical effects. And then that face melting scene. I finished Alan Wake last night. Overall, I like the game. The ending is kind of trash. Nice. Good for you, Serial. Are you starting Control? Or are you going to go straight to 2? I mean, yeah, Alan Wake 2. We'll get back into our Alan Wake episode on Friday, guys. It'll be a weekly episode until we finish the game. Control is fun. I started it but never finished it. I know that. I never finished it. Hi, Psycho. Yeah, the ending isn't the greatest. I will give it that. How you doing, Psycho? We were just finishing up our coffee chat of horrors. We were discussing Critters. We just got finished with it, and I was saying how I was watching the collector's edition of the Critters. It's a Shout Factory.
Almost every hand you've ever
set,
shaken has had a dick in
it. And it had a lot of good information in it, and I'm glad I didn't just rely on the internet for my information, because there wasn't a lot of information out there to begin with. So I'm really glad they had the collector's edition with information in those reels. Just like with the Friday the 13th collection from Shout Factory, they have an individual CD of information for each of the chapters, which I thought is really cool because it gives you more information. Yeah, very anticlimactic, and I want to fight that bitch, and you didn't even get to fight her. Nope. She sent herself the folder containing Heavy's dick pics by mistake. Nope, there is none of that. You don't put any of that on a computer or a cell phone. I thought Critters was a funny ass movie. Critters is a fun franchise. It's campy. It's funny. It has a lot of great practical effects. We see a lot of firsts for actors in this film as well. The TV series did not do overly well. Even though I thought it was fun, it didn't do well. It was on Shudder for, I think, maybe 6 episodes. And then it was pulled. But it's no longer on Shudder anymore. It's hard to find. I thought, yeah, she has a photo album for them since she is all fancy and shit. Nope, not at all. You don't want to put that shit out on anything because it's out there. You know, people use their Snapchats thinking that, you know, everything is quiet on Snapchat. The photos disappear. No, dumb motherfuckers. They're on somebody's server. Yeah, somebody's server. Ra has a photographic memory. She blinks when Heavy gets nude to store photos in the brain. Every time you see her blink in chat, she's looking at some photos. There you go. It's the best way to keep your sexy time photos is in your friggin' brain. You gotta be careful sending that shit out via text because text isn't encrypted. Anybody can hack that shit. Don't want to put that stuff on Snapchat or Instagram with their disappearing text. Your shit ain't disappearing. You do know that it disappears. The FBI is still able to get the messages that disappeared. Silly bitches. That's why you don't want to talk about your murdering route. Not publicly, at least. Not in text and not over the phone. You want to do it in person. I couldn't do that because I would be driving with my eyes closed. Enjoy my eat the rich text powers that be. Yeah. That's one thing I told my kids. Like, look, you guys have cell phones. Don't be snapping, you know, risque photos of yourself to anybody because anybody can take those photos and put them onto websites. Anyone can do anything with those photos. Someone loses their phone, shit ton of naked photos of you or photos that you don't want to be seen on the internet right there for anyone to view. So I think it's ridiculous that these people believe that they're safe because they're in WhatsApp or they're in their text messages or they have disappearing pictures. Nothing is disappearing when it has to cross over an infoweb. It passes through a server somewhere in the world of the internet. Never snap your snapper. I would say so. Anyways, guys, I'm going to head off to get some lunch. Thank you guys for hanging out and watching Coffee Chat of Horrors. I hope you guys enjoyed the Critters edition of CCOH. I had a lot of fun researching CCOH and bringing in all the information. A huge shout out to Reaper1923 for helping me with the little pictograms that you guys get to see. Reaper creates those for me every week. Every week he creates those for me for the shows that we're going to discuss. You have a good rest of your day, Psycho. I appreciate you being here and coming in. We're just going to do our credits. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, Serial. Thank you, Regal. Yeah, there it is. There's Reaper1923. I was about to say, did it not work? Regal, thank you very much, and Deadwalk for coming in on your Sunday and doing what you do. I appreciate it. Thank you, Serial Killer and Shelly and Dahi, Vengeance, Moon over Miami, Steve, Wickedy, Wiley. Thank you guys so very much. Hattie for hanging out over on YouTube. And Dahi, Deadwalk, Serial, Psycho, Regal, Monkey Van Meowerton, She Kratos, Dahi, Psycho. Let me just scroll up here and see who else. Zach, Mischief Maker, Big Wild Blue. Thank you guys for coming in and hanging out and chatting. I greatly appreciate you guys hanging out in the stream and watching. You'll be able to catch a VOD. Thank you for being here, Tyra. You'll be able to catch the VOD of CCOH over on my YouTube channel. Under live, there is a new playlist there as well, so you guys can easily find the Coffee Chat of Horrors VODs. You can go all the way back to about 2018 when I started the show. So there's quite a few on there. Why do I always get the Pepto-Bismol jingle stuck in my head when you read the credits? I don't know. That's weird. But Gen X, thank you very much for your 5 streak. And She Kratos for your 7 streak. And Jimmy with the resub. Thank you so very much for resubbing and sacrificing your soul for 23 friggin' months. Pepto-Bismol. That's some gross shit. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me. Have an amazing rest of your Sunday. Mwah! And I will see you most likely Wednesday. I don't know yet if I'm going to do a stream Monday night. I may do a stream Monday night, but if I don't, I'll see you guys Wednesday for Coffin Chat. I think we might be discussing a few things off topic with Coffin Chat because we have 28 days later. That information that I want to discuss, as well as some ghoulies and some upcoming other horror movies that are actually coming out for 2024. I get the lady at the end of Romper Room looking through the magic mirror saying hello to all of us. Have a good day, everybody. Stay warm out there, and I will slash you all later. Bye.